All right, welcome to the coffee break. This is the episode number 97. Thank you very much for joining today. As usual, this is a very open space for no questions or if you want to ask about the project you're working on or any questions that you may have. Always very open, and I'd like to see if you have any topics or project or questions that you have. Uh, Open up your microphone and you're free to ask or share, just like in the kitchen in the office. Anything going on? I see new names here, at least, that I don't remember. Yesid, Mark, George. Thank you for joining. Hi, Yesid. Good morning. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, we can hear you if you're talking. Okay, so while you warm up, let me share a few interesting things. Oh, hi, Kevin, as well. By the way, Kevin was hosting the coffee break last time. Um, was uh, was offline for a few days.
Yeah, hi, Augusto.
Hi.
We just had a little bit of trouble getting in. Adam is also having
Oh, really?
trouble. So let me give him the link again. It didn't work for me, but I think maybe it's because you hadn't started the meeting yet. But that's kind of weird because
I have.
did.
Wait, we're here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes Zoom it's misbehaves because this is a recurrent meeting and it's also set as a webinar that you have to register. So it sometimes takes a moment. Anyway, let me show you. By the way, thanks Kevin for hosting last time.
Sure.
So typically it's something that is interesting to see on what's new on our API. And one thing that I was trying to bring to your attention is this change here. I'm not sure if you've seen this blog. By the way, if you haven't seen it, there is a newsletter that goes out every time with details on the what's new, what's changing, and it's always important to sign the newsletter so you get those notice. But the blog also have lots of interesting information, and so everyone will get everyone that is registered for APS will get some level of information. But if you really want to get but sometimes people register with APS using an alias, and that alias is not always monitored. So what I would suggest is always have the newsletter register, so you can go to the events and register for the newsletter. Okay, so one topic is about this one here, this change on. So we are changing how we store cloud modules in the cloud, right? So today, if you have linked modules in Revit, and when you upload those modules to ACC, it will, depending on how you create them, it will create a zip with all the linked files, right? So, but in ACC, it shows as a Revit file, but when you download, it comes as a zip. So we know that this was going on with Revit for several years. And now that we're getting larger and larger modules and getting more and more cloud access to it, it's not working well. So we're planning to change how we store that zip. So instead of having a zip, we have a broken files, but then will be an API to access those individual files. So if you have, so the summary is that if you have linked modules and you are somehow accessing them, or if you want to interact with them moving forward, right, there is a chance to provide feedback on what you need, what you do today. And here at this blog post, right here, there is an email alias. Just sent, start a conversation. The architect responsible for it it's monitoring and will be replying. So we are seeing some feedback. So thank you if you already did that. But yeah, here's some way to get there. Which brings me to the question: anyone here working with linked files in ACC or have any take on this? Or is that completely new for everyone? Or have never worked with this? Or very quiet. Cool. All right, cool. Let's see. Yeah. Hi, Vincent. Yes, that's a good idea. Would you like to open the microphone? Anything else that you like to add to it? Why are you using those? Where are you using those linked files? That would be interesting as well.
It's not through the API right now, but like in the past, we've run into issues because the like the zipped linked models get very, very, very large. Like I've seen 10 gig zip files and then it won't publish and other things like that. So I think it's a good idea to split them up.
Okay. So when you have those large models, it's because you are linking all the disciplines together. Why do you have such a large model?
Yeah, on a specific project I'm thinking about, it was a large hospital project, and there was like a site model that would link them all so that they could see the site and also download them. And so that was causing issues. But even on a single building, they would often link adjacent buildings that are connected via tunnels or walkways, and then so the models would get very, very large.
Okay. So is there a need to access them individually or access all of them together? Or you mentioned a problem on publish, right? Or is there like no performance issues there? Is there a need or a performance problem? Would you know?
I think kind of both. Like it would be nice to be able to access all the data from, you know, a set of models in one shot without having to iterate through each one. I think that's what the AEC data API kind of comes in. But yeah, no, I think overall it's a good idea to be able to split them up like you're doing. It'll make it easier to manage large projects.
Would you need to access them through the interface as well? So through the product, access them individually? Would it make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if in the product itself through the web interface of ACC Docs, if it was clear to users before they hit download that it's actually going to download like all the linked files, I think that would definitely help, or be able to pick and like download only the main file or download without links or something like that. That would be practical.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. Anyone else working with this? Cool. So before we keep, I'm talking too much. Any other topics or questions? I think John is also here, right? So John, we have a training coming up, right?
Yes, next month for the AC data model. Let me turn on my camera. Okay, yeah, for the AC data model. This will be the first one where when we will have the AC data model generally available. So yeah, take a look. We had one previously, but this time we also covering the manufacturing data model. Adam will take care of that. So yeah, lots of new data, new way to explore data from designs. Great opportunity.
Yeah, I see here manufacturing data model and AC data model, right? So one day for
Yeah,
each.
and it's one day for each, and it's entirely focused on exploring the GraphQL interface, the API itself. So unlike the common tutorials that we have where you need to build the application, host the server, This case, we are going to work with the queries, understand the queries, to query the data and understand how we can take advantage of that. We are focusing the entire time on the queries and the data from designers.
Interesting. So it's less coding and more exploring with queries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, there is coding because we are doing the queries, we are building the queries. So you need to address that through the syntax accessible, the syntax available for that. So we are not coding the one specific language, one specific framework.
Did I lose you? It's just me.
Come back, Joao. Come back.
Yeah, fico lost. It's interesting that it's always, yeah, okay, Kevin.
I was just going to add to that. Yeah, so definitely we're focusing on GraphQL and the data that you're querying. But I believe there's a small section towards the end that shows how the query can be executed in your own environment. So basically the GraphQL system has a single endpoint and you send your query to that endpoint and it's that easy. So pretty much any development environment you're already working in, whatever language, it's gonna be pretty straightforward to execute the queries. I think the more challenging part is what do you do with the data when you get it back?
Oh yeah. I was mentioning, right? So this is the interesting piece about GraphQL, right? So we now have one endpoint, so one API and endpoints, right? That you can send, can always use the same one. So the learning piece on the programming side is way less than it used to be, right? You don't have to call many endpoints, right? You have to do authentication and then call the API you want. So the one API we have, so it's significantly easier. And now, as you said, right, the thing is about how can we manipulate all the data we get back. But that's the problem we have all the time, right? We always, every time we run some report with our model, with our project, we always get data. We get CSV, we get text. So manipulating that data is something that will always happen. But there is a beauty here that the data is structured as a JSON, right? So something that if you're not programmers, something that we have to learn as well, that how to manipulate JSON. So yeah. Anyway, John, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry for that.
This time it's okay. Okay, cool. So the bootcamp, it's a bootcamp, or what do you call today? Training, right?
Yeah.
So the training will happen the training happened July, 2 days, I believe, 2 time zones or 1 time zone. Central European time and Pacific time.
Yeah, should be 2 time zones, yeah.
Yeah. So a chance for everyone to join. And there is some prerequisites, right? So be sure to have it there. And what else? Yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be curious to see what people can do with the data they get back. So
yeah, the customers that joined at the beta are doing some code samples, integrating with other resources, other databases, and even large language models to query data. So yeah, there are lots of possibilities.
I'm curious to see who will be the first to create a GraphQL to Excel connector. That's always the business world runs on Excel, right? So how can you get that data into Excel, in a meaningful way? So that will be interesting to see. Look.
Someone must have it already, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's hard, right? So how can you see? It's hard in a way that the data can be in many forms, right? So how do you make it Excel friendly? So I think that's the challenge there, how to make it Excel friendly.
Yeah, and I think one thing to keep in mind here is the quote granular aspect to all this data, right? So in the past, you would often go to an Excel just because there was so much data coming in a single call, and you would have to use something like Excel to sort through it and find what you really needed. And I think the power with GraphQL and the data models is you can weed out all the stuff you don't want. You can query for just the data you want. And then, yes, you may put that in an Excel, but the nice thing about the query system is that you really only have to work with the data that you're after.
Yes, good point. Yeah, you're right. Excel is a way to massage the data to get to the form that you want, right? Or to the amount of data that you need. You want to summarize, you want to count, you want to average, and those kind of things. Excel is really good at it. So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, what I think we'll see a lot of is, tools like schedules, quantity takeoffs, things like that, where usually you're looking for really specific information, like a window schedule or
Yes.
quantity takeoff for how much area does a room have or something like that. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting new use cases here.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. And so those data models are part of the industry clouds that we've been announcing for some time now. Those are not the industry clouds, but they are part of it, right? So the industry cloud will run with multiple things, including the data model. So the platform is a piece of that. So Autodesk is really moving to that. We've been talking about that on every event, every investor call, every the marketing piece that we have. It's all there. It's there every time. Sorry. So yeah, if you are planning to work with us, this is that's the way we're going. Cool. All right. Now we are definitely talking too much. Any questions from anyone? Questions or topics? I said that I saw new names here, so welcome to anything that you'd like to ask. If it's your first time, don't be shy.
I'll throw a question out there. How many people have seen that AU is now going to be open for registration? And how many of you are planning to attend? Have you already gotten approvals and ready to go to San Diego, or still thinking about it?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I didn't propose any class this time. Oh no. Antonio said you're from Mexico, so it's very close. San Diego, it's quite close, right? It's easier than other places.
Yeah, you could just walk there.
Move?
Just walk there.
Well, not that far, not that close. I think the place this time is it's a convention center, and the hotels will be across the street, right? So the what's the name? San Diego Convention Center or something like that. I was looking at the map. I think it's similar to what we had a couple years back in New Orleans. Yeah. Fun. San Diego is a nice place. All right. What else we have? Maybe show you quickly something else, that the 2025 engines are now on Zen Automation. And if you call get engines, you see the list there. One thing to notice is that we get that quite often, is that when on Zen Automation API, when you say get engines, it's paginated. So you have to go a few pages, right? So always remember that.
Moses has a question. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Zen Automation for Zen Automation. Good point. Now that the beta for that is still available. You can run Dynamo with Revit 2024. Now we're still looking for feedback on it. The feedback we got so far is the way we run it. It's a bit hard. So while the beta is still open, so people can still provide feedback, we are investigating how can we make it easier, right? So something that we're trying to do with all the APIs is how can we make the API so easy that it's not a problem for you, right? So make it easier is not something that should be a plus, should be part of the API design, right? So so now we're looking how to make it easier. Now I think the question for you, Moses, is what kind of workflows you want to do, right? Because the way we have today is you launch Revit, you open Dynamo engine inside Revit, and then you run your script. So that's how it works, the technology. So how can you make the technology better for your workflows? Maybe the question for you is, what is the workflow that you're trying to achieve? And maybe we can then use that to create an easier workflow. We definitely know that the workflow we have today is not easy. It's actually really hard. And that's why making it easier will be the main thing we have to do. Does it help? Moses, do you have anything there? Any hints for us? Oh, dashboards for warnings. Yeah. So you're essentially extracting data with Dynamo, using Dynamo scripts to extract data. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Would it be better to use the AC data model? Would it be easier? Or it's because you already have those scripts there? Why? I think the question is why Dynamo and why not AC data model? You can open the microphone if you want. Oh, okay, change the model. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah. So as I said, the beta is still open. There is an alias there there is a way there to post your question. If you have the time, please post your question there or post your comments there so you can make sure that those are not lost. And then the product manager, it's interacting with people. So yeah, that's a chance to interact and get a feedback through. All right, I see another question from Vincent that João already replied. Any other comments there, João? Like to add?
No, just check the repo from Ison. It has many options to export to IFC based on elements in view, based on export settings name. And also, if you want just to export to address IFC in the APS platform, we have a new translation method. It's not related to this question, but it's regarding IFC and APS. We have the new V4 for generating SVF from IFC, which is the new recommended way.
That's translation, right? For
translation.
Extraction. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And okay, that's another one from. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Thanks for sharing the link. Remember that you have to copy whatever's on the chat window before leaving. Otherwise, you lose it, right? And Luis, I see you are asking about a specific ticket we have. João or other, can you check on that link, on that ticket, Jira ticket, and see what we have there. So Luis, and that's for everyone, right? So internally, we receive your ticket. We have a number for your support ticket, but sometimes you have to escalate that to the engineering group that is responsible for that, right? So that's common practice. When we do that, we create a new number that is tracked by that specific team. So that number here that you are showing, 2058, you can always ask for updates through the support, if you're looking for that. Now, what we do is eventually when that ticket is solved, we inform the people that the person that asked for it. So yeah, John, go ahead.
Yeah, I see it closed with a pull request, and the
So-
last message was sent 6 days ago. So it's
So
worth to
probably,
double check.
yeah, probably check whenever the fix is approved or is still in staging. So whenever it's ready to go to production, we can confirm with Luis. Yeah. So Luis, just so you know, right? So just like you, right? We use Git internally. We have PRs, but still needs to be approved and reviewed. The fact that we have the PR doesn't mean that it's going to be in production. We have to review and approve that. So there is a quality assurance process there. John,
Still planned for a future release here from the track.
so
Yeah.
please add a note, start watching that ticket. So when you get an update on the ticket, you can inform Luis when it's happening. Thank you. The fact that we have a PR, it means that we managed to get some code done, but still need approval, merge, and wait for the proper versioning to get that out. As we are not different from other development groups. Cool. All right. We are almost at time. Any last minute? Anything else? Any progress for what is that?
Oh yeah, for
John is
are you
also here.
facing this issue? Just to give a bit more context to everyone, in some specific cases, customers added to many groups, many permission folders to specific roles or companies were facing issues when trying to access their designs through API. So this blog shares a workaround if you are facing issues like you can see one design inside the user interface of ACC Ambry 360, but you can't access that design, that same data through API. So if you are facing that, you can address the workaround in this mentioned in this blog. So we worked on that. We increased some limit involved in this issue, and the engineering team is now also addressing other fixes to completely erase this kind of issue. If you face that, please still use the workaround. But in future, the idea is that you won't need this workaround anymore. This is affecting a very small percentage of users across the platform, and only in those cases where users are added to hundreds or even thousands of hubs projects with specific permissions. All right.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Antonio. Yeah. Always those edge cases. With that, as usual, the next coffee break will be in 2 weeks. Same link, same time. And I'll be post the recording. And thank you very much for joining today. And see you all soon. Thank you. Thanks for all the questions.
Thank you all.